Alright, so I want to kind of give you a recap on what it was like being home for the first week after a heart attack. I actually had a pretty severe heart attack. 3 blockages, they put in 3 stents, flatlined on the operating table twice, was in a medically induced coma for 14 days, and caught pneumonia while I was on the ventilator. So my case may be a little bit more extreme, but I wanted to give you kind of an idea just in case you're going through something similar. So my first 2 days home, I just slept. I was trying to let my body rest and heal up, so probably slept 23, 22 hours a day. Now you should try and get up for an hour or two, just, if it's getting up to go to the bathroom or watching some TV or something. Sleep as much as you can, but get up and do a little bit of movement. Leave the light on in the bathroom, and when you get up out of bed, turn on the light in the room, sit up on the edge of the bed and kind of catch your breath. Then use a walker or whatever you need to help you get to the bathroom. Don't let your ego get in the way of your recovery. First night home, I thought I was doing okay, got in a hurry, fell in the bathroom and split my eyebrow open. So don't do that. Rule number 1, take your meds. No excuses. Also, drink lots of good clean water. It's good for your body, and getting up to go to the bathroom will help you practice your balance and rebuild your muscles. Avoid stress of any kind. Turn off your phone. There's nobody that's that important that you have to talk to. Plus, you'll probably be pretty grouchy and pissy the first few days until you start to see some improvement in yourself. Took about 3 or 4 days for me, but you will see quick improvements if you work at it. Now, day 2 and 3, you really need to get your ass out of bed. No more eating meals in bed, because even shuffling to the kitchen or the living room to watch some TV and eat meals will be a big improvement for you. Movement is medicine. During my 2 weeks in the hospital and 13 days on the ventilator, I lost 30 pounds of muscle. I was so weak I literally couldn't even stand up to go to the bathroom. It took 2 nurses and a control belt around my waist just to get me up to go to the bathroom. But you're going to need to start getting calories and food back in your body. Now for the first 2-3 days, you may be pretty helpless. You're going to need a spouse or a really good friend or maybe a paid caregiver to cook for you. I could barely lift a half gallon of orange juice for the first couple of days. Food really tasted like crap. Really very salty crap. Let's see. First meals, I started with a bowl of soup, microwaved it, slurped about half the broth, ate a few pieces of the chicken and dumplings in it, and that was it. Just really small portions. My stomach had shrunk, and I just couldn't eat that much. Other good ideas are liquid calories. The Ensure brand of shakes is really good. Orange juice, apple juice, and almond milk will help you feed your body. Now my first real meal was some low-sodium cream and mushroom soup, which I don't normally eat. Mix it up with some rice, and I chopped up a small burger patty. Did that the first few nights for dinner. Also put a Chick-fil-A patty in there one night. Be careful, that's pretty high in sodium, so I wouldn't really recommend it. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do, get calories in you. Even if it's not 100% healthy, you got to get some food in you. Other things that proved really helpful, the Sargento brand balanced breaks. They have cheese, fruit, and nuts in them. Also ate handfuls of unsalted nuts. Get a big bag of healthy nuts. Like I said, watch your sodium, but it's really easy to eat a couple handfuls of nuts and then maybe have a chocolate and shore shake. Also had some cold grapes from the fridge. Those are really nice. A little bit sweet, still healthy and filling. Also like the pudding cups. Chocolate pudding was really good, really easy to eat. And fruit cups were really handy. Sometimes I could have a handful of nuts or some trail mix and a fruit cup for breakfast. It would hold me for a couple of hours. Yogurt was also really good. Because of the pneumonia, they had me on some really strong antibiotics, which kills a lot of your good flora in your gut. So yogurt and probiotics are going to help you. Sometimes, especially my first couple of meals, my stomach would get a little bit upset, so I do like a half a dose of Pepto-Bismol. Just make sure it's not going to interfere with your meds. Now, by day 3, you need to get up, get outside, and walk. Again, movement is medicine. And it was really probably the biggest psychological boost for me. This whole thing was so crushing. I went from being a fitness guy, I looked at my Strava stats for that week. Bike rides totaled up to 40 miles that week. A couple jogs for 6 miles and a 5-mile hike. And I went from that to having no cardio whatsoever, trouble picking up a half gallon of orange juice, or even standing up straight. Really psychologically crushing. But you got to get up and get outside. You got to be a fighter. You can't be a pussy about this. This is a life and death fight. And I really would recommend you get one of the walking wheelchairs. It's kind of like a walker, but it has wheels and handbrakes on it and a seat. So my first day out, I made it all of 4 damn driveways. Felt like crap. Second day, I made it past 6 driveways, so there's some definite improvement. Third time, I managed 10 driveways and I felt like Superman. Now by the 4th time, I could go the whole block up and down it, and I really felt great. The walking rebuilds your muscles, exercises your heart and your lungs, and by day 4 and 5, you should be getting some of your appetite back. I was getting hungry, I was starting to crave food, and you should be eating 2 or 3 times a day and walking once or twice a day. But take it real easy and don't push it. You don't want to get your heart rate too high. When I do my walks, my heart rate usually doesn't get above 75 beats a minute. My resting heart rate is between 55 and 65. So you'll be breathing deeply, but don't tax yourself. Take it nice and easy. Long, slow distance is what you want. 10, 15 minutes at a time. Do it once or twice a day. If you feel like taking a nap when you get home, do it. Eat a little bit, take a nap, walk, take another nap. But you should be aiming to get out of bed at least 10 to 12 hours a day, even if it's just sitting up in a chair to watch movies or TV or listen to music. Maybe times when you don't want to get up or take your meds, and honestly it's easier to lay in bed than it is to get up and eat sometimes. But again, this is a serious life and death game. You need to be tough, and you got to be a fighter. You have family and friends rooting for you, and I'm rooting for you. Now by day 7, I felt 1,000% better. My physical activity was getting a lot better. Things were kind of clicking into place. Huge psychological boost. But like I said, this was really crushing psychologically for me. 50 years old, really fit, ate really clean. So it was really, really difficult to have to start over. But they told me it takes, 4 or 5 days to recover for every 1 day you're in the hospital. So I got a couple of months ahead of me, but shouldn't be too much longer till I'm back to 100%. Plus, if you live through this, like I said, I was in a medically induced coma for 13 days, on the ventilator for 11 days, caught pneumonia. But if you live through it, the universe still has plans for you, so make your time count. Do something important. Nothing worse than dying in bed and thinking about all your regrets and things you didn't do. So volunteer for the Boy Scouts, take church groups on camping trips, turn off your television, read books, teach kids how to cook or how to use tools, teach them how to ride bikes or shoot guns, pass on whatever knowledge and skills you have. You may also want to explore some deeper subjects like philosophy and spirituality. YouTube can actually offer you a wealth of information. Learning to meditate is never a bad idea, and it'll help you with your breathing and controlling some of your stress. There's a couple of really good channels on YouTube that are solid. Check out Dharma Nation. It's Dharma Nation. Sri Dharma Pravartika Acharya, really, really smart guy, has a PhD, a lot of good advice. One of his best videos that I really like is called Dharma Warrior. It explains how life has responsibilities and duties, kind of puts things in perspective for you. There's another channel on there called Hinduism Today that does shorter videos on just good solid advice for leading a good life. It's much more focused on spirituality than religious dogma or preaching. So, they have really good solid advice on how to live a good life. Go into it with an open mind and just listen. Good solid common sense advice. So just think, you're not in this alone. It's crushing the first couple of days, but you got to push through it, you got to fight, and you'll be okay. So I hope this helps you, and I'm going to try to do my updates about once a week, so see you in a couple of days.